Welcome to another episode of Confidence Consulting. Confidently beautiful with a heart for financial insights and corporate reporting. Our team is composed of four driven individuals working together to deliver insights with clarity, confidence, and credibility. Riza, financial analyst; Zanjo, market strategist; Arlene, industry researcher; and Jose, forecasting specialist. Together, we are Confidence Consulting.
Speaking of being confident with a heart, today we shine the spotlight on a true icon in Philippine media, GMA Network Inc., more popularly known as GMA 7 or Global Media Arts. GMA 7 has long stood as a beacon of excellence in broadcasting. Since its incorporation on June 14, 1950, this free-to-air broadcasting company has grown into a powerhouse, delivering not just entertainment, but also truthful, timely, and responsible news to millions of Filipinos, both here and around the world. But GMA 7 is more than just a TV and radio network. It's multifaceted media empire with subsidiaries and affiliates that span across film production set, props construction music, video recording, online gaming, post-production services, and new media ventures. With a robust network of 115 TV stations and 21 radio stations nationwide, GMA 7 ensures that no Filipino is left behind, from the bustling cities to the most remote provinces. In 2007, GMA 7 made another bold move by becoming officially listed on Philippine Stock Exchange, a testament to its confidence, credibility, and commitment to growth. And yet, at the heart of all this success is a mission to bring superior entertainment and accurate, unbiased information to every Filipino household, whether through television, radio, digital platforms, or global syndication. GMA 7 continues to lead with integrity, innovation, and yes, with heart.
Let's take a journey through the colorful history of GMA Network. It all began on March 1st, 1950, when GMA started as a humble radio broadcast station located on the 4th floor of Cabo Building in Escolta, Manila. Originally operating under the name Republic Broadcasting System or RBS, the visionary was American war correspondent Robert Stewart, fondly known as Uncle Bob. 11 years later, on October 29, 1961, RBS made its mark on television with the launch of DCBB TV Channel 7. But the road wasn't always smooth. During the martial law era, media outlets were shut down. RBS was allowed to operate but under strict government control. Facing political pressure and legal restrictions on foreign ownership, Stewart sold the company to his lawyer, Felipe Guzon. In 1975, the network was rebranded as GMA, first meaning Greater Manila Area, and later evolving to Global Media Arts. And with that, a new era began over the years. GMA's branding evolved from GMA Radio Television Arts to GMA Rainbow Satellite Network in 1992. And finally, in 2002, it embraced the Kapuso identity symbolized by a heart that beats for every Filipino. Today, GMA stands tall as a major player in Philippine media and continues to dominate ratings and earn prestigious awards for its excellence in news, entertainment, and documentary programming. In 2025, GMA Network is celebrating its 75th Diamond Year anniversary. Driven by its corporate purpose, GMA continues to enrich the lives of Filipinos everywhere. GMA upholds 6 core values: integrity, excellence, teamwork, innovation, commitment to the public, and social responsibility. The board of directors is composed of 9 members, headed by the chairman, Attorney Felipe Guzon. GMA has expanded its brands and businesses across TV channels, international channels, program production, radio products, e-commerce, regional TV events, talent development, and social civic organizations. Last year, GMA reported a net reach of 92.5% across Philippines with a projected viewership of up to 67 million. Confidence Consulting Corporate Financial Report Analysis will start with a business model canvas. The business model canvas is a strategic management tool that helps visualize and describe how a business creates, delivers, and captures value. It is typically divided into 9 key building blocks, each representing a core aspect of a business. First, let's look at key partners. Who are the partners or collaborators? Advertising clients and agencies are the main revenue sources through ad placements. Content and streaming partners include GMA shows like Pulang Araw and Widow's War premiered on Netflix, while View has a long-term partnership streaming multiple GMA dramas. Prime Video also streamed GMA's Firefly film. Cable and DTH providers are responsible for international channel distribution. GMA New Media is responsible for app development, streaming platforms, and digital transformation. Social civic partners including GMA Kapuso Foundation, Kapwa Ko Mahal Ko Foundation, research firms such as Nielsen TV Audience Measurement that provide ratings data. SEC, PSSE, and NTC are confirmed regulatory bodies overseeing GMA's compliance, licensing, and public disclosures.
Next, GMA Network's key activities. At the forefront is content production, creating high-rating dramas, news, and public affair programs for television and radio broadcasting. Through digital media production, advertising sales, and marketing, the network drives revenue through strategic airtime and brand partnerships. Community engagement and CSR efforts, led by the GMA Kapuso Foundation, supports disaster relief, education, and healthcare. Sustainability management ensures alignment with the UN SDGs, reinforcing GMA's role as a responsible media leader. Next, GMA Network's key resources. These include its broadcasting infrastructure, a wide network of TV stations, and strong brand equity. The network also leverages a rich content library, a government-granted broadcast franchise, and a roster of top talents and celebrities. Supporting all of this is a skilled creative production team, driving innovation and quality across platforms. GMA Network's value proposition. It delivers entertainment and information with timely and unbiased news and a strong connection to the homeland. It caters to the demand for local content, satisfying Filipinos with culturally relevant shows and providing free, widely accessible news. GMA also offers content to overseas Filipinos while delivering advertiser value through a broad audience base and high program ratings.
Customer relationships are the foundation of the Kapuso network's success. For viewers, the network builds connection through mass media and community engagement, creating spaces where stories unite audiences. For advertisers, the focus is on dedicated client support, contractual partnerships, ensuring trust and measurable results. Above all, the Kapuso network fosters a strong, emotionally resonant bond with its audience, making every interaction meaningful.
Next, customer segments. The most important customers are brand advertisers and marketers, who generate the majority of revenue. Equally vital are Filipino viewers, whose attention, loyalty, and high ratings from the core product offered to advertisers. Every relationship matters. Every connection tells a story. How does GMA channel its business? It starts with advertising and sponsorships, the main revenue source through commercials, digital ads, and program sponsorships. Next, free-to-air broadcasting delivers content via major channels like GMA 7, GTV, and Heart of Asia. Digital and online platforms extend reach through gmanetwork.com, YouTube, and the GMA Now app, supported by subscriptions and partnerships. International operations keep Filipinos abroad connected. Finally, events and talent management drive engagement through concerts, fan meets, and endorsements. GMA connects audience everywhere, on air, online, and beyond. Now, let's take a look at the cost structure. GMA operates on a content-driven cost structure. The largest expense is production costs, taking up about 50%, emphasizing the network's focus on creating quality content. Next are personal expenses, around 30%, driven by talent and celebrity contracts along with staff compensation. Broadcast operations account for 10%, ensuring seamless delivery of programs. Technology and equipment investments represent 7%, supporting capital upgrades for innovation. Finally, marketing expenses make up about 3%, covering program promotions and sales activities. Revenue streams are equally diverse. The biggest source is advertising revenue from national and regional airtime sales. Subscription revenue comes from international channels and digital platforms. Content licensing through global streaming partners like Netflix and Prime Video adds value. Other streams include event sponsorships, digital monetization via YouTube and social media. Additional income comes from film and music production as well as consumer products. Advertisers and subscribers pay for access to mass audiences and targeted content. That's the end of our business model canvas. Next, we will proceed with financial analysis and explore why, despite GMA's growth through the years, its financial numbers are declining. Confidence Consulting conducted a comprehensive financial analysis of GMA Network from the last 5 years.
Let's begin the financial analysis with GMA Network's sales growth. Sales growth measures the percentage increase or decrease in a company's revenue over time. It is a key indicator of business performance, market demand, and operational momentum. Looking at the graph, GMA 7's sales growth has followed a declining trend with a sharp drop in 2023. Revenue surged during the 2020 pandemic lockdowns as audiences turned to broadcast media, and again in the 2022 election season due to political ad spending. The shutdown of ABS-CBN further boosted GMA 7's advertising income, which accounted for 92% of total revenues in 2024. Historical data shows about a 20% increase in advertising revenue during election periods. Using this pattern, we forecast a similar spike in 2027 to 2028 ahead of the next national elections, followed by a likely return to the downward trend afterward. Now we will walk you through 3 key liquidity ratios to help us assess the financial health and operational efficiency of GMA. Asset turnover ratio, computed as sales over total assets. This ratio shows how efficiently GMA uses its assets to generate sales. Based on the graph, the decline occurred from 2020 to 2024, with a sharp drop after 2022, likely due to reduced advertising revenue following the election and the pandemic. Asset turnover will rise from 0.58 in 2026 to 0.75 in 2028 as forecasted. Let's check the current ratio, computed as current assets over current liabilities. This ratio shows GMA's ability to meet short-term obligations. A ratio above 1.0 is a good sign of liquidity. GMA's ratio stays above 2, indicating strong liquidity. A slight dip after 2022 may reflect increased liabilities from expansion or short-term borrowing as the company ramps up investments. The quick ratio or asset-desk ratio, computed as current assets less inventory less prepaid expenses over current liabilities. This ratio shows GMA's ability to cover short-term liabilities using liquid assets. An ideal quick ratio is 1.0 or higher. The quick ratio data closely mirror the current ratio. A slight dip from 2023 suggests cash was used for capital and content production investments, but the forecast for the succeeding years will be below 1.0. Now let's define solvency ratios. Solvency ratios measure a company's ability to meet its long-term obligations. First, debt-to-asset ratio. This indicates the portion of a company's assets that is financed through debt. A lower percentage means less risk. For GMA, the ratio remains low at 20 to 30%, indicating conservative financing with limited reliance on debt. The slight increase after 2022 reflects new borrowings or higher payables tied to expansion projects. Next, debt-to-equity ratio. This indicates the proportion of debt used relative to shareholders' equity. GMA had a very low debt-to-equity ratio in 2020 to 2022, but it increased in 2023 and 2024, suggesting funding for operations or expansion. Even so, a debt-to-equity ratio of 0.27 is still conservative, implying manageable financial risk and room for additional borrowing if needed. Let's move on to profitability ratios, metrics that show how well a company turns revenue into profit. Net profit margin reflects how much profit remains after expenses. GMA Network peaked in 2021, driven by strong ad revenues after ABS-CBN shutdown. From 2022, NPM declined due to lower post-election ad income and a shift to digital platforms. Rising production costs also contributed. By 2029, NPM is projected to fall percent, signaling tighter profitability. Return on equity shows how efficiently shareholder investments generate earnings. GMA's ROE followed the same trend, high in 2020 to 2021 due to limited competition. ROE is expected to drop from around 52% to 4% as the company shifted from high returns to long-term investments in digital and content. The future depends on how well GMA monetizes its digital and global reach for long-term growth. Return on assets measure how well assets generate profit. GMA's ROA peaked in 2021, but declined as asset growth from studio modernization and digital infrastructure outpaced income. This led to a declining ROA as these new assets take time to generate profits. If GMA's digital and international operations scale successfully, ROA may stabilize.
This 2025, the Philippine economy is growing steadily, with GDP up 5.6% and inflation down to 1.8%, boosting consumer and advertiser confidence. GMA Network capitalized on this momentum, especially during the midterm elections, which drove a surge in ad revenue. With 83.8% internet penetration and 78% social media usage, GMA's digital platforms are thriving. In the first half of 2025, the net income doubled to 2 billion pesos. The revenue rose by 29% and the EBITDA jumped by 91%. Thanks to election ads and a massive hit PBB Celebrity Collab Edition. As of July 2025, PE ratio of 7.67, ROE of 25%, and has a low debt to equity at 0.22. With ABS-CBN off the air, GMA commands a 52.5% audience share and ranks 15th globally in digital media engagement. Despite strong fundamentals, GMA 7 remains undervalued, trading at 5.43 pesos versus an estimated value of 8.38 pesos. GMA Network is a dominant force in Philippine media, even as traditional TV faces disruption from streaming platforms like Netflix and YouTube, and the explosive rise of social media influencers. Filipinos now spend over 4 hours daily on social media. This shift has redirected advertising budgets. Up to 50% now go to influencer campaigns, challenging the revenue streams of traditional TV. Yet GMA has responded strategically. It expanded its digital footprint, launching Kapuso Stream, growing its mobile app downloads, and generating 45.2 billion views across YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, with a 40% increase year-on-year. Our final recommendation: hold. Hold if you're already invested. GMA continues to deliver solid dividends and maintain strong financials. However, short-term investors should exercise caution as television faces ongoing shifts in media consumption and the audience migration to digital platforms. GMA Network Incorporated stands resilient, adapting to a changing media landscape through innovation, digital expansion, and strategic content delivery. This has been another episode of Confidence Consulting. Thank you for watching.